Flip it 180, yeah. So you could travel on that surface infinitely.
Yeah, think about it. The solar analemma
Yeah, I
looks
can
like
do that.
too.
Hey, sporadic. Explain to me like everything. I just want to know everything. Um,
Yeah,
All right,
after you say his fucking name right.
from the
put your phone
start.
on. We're gonna spoon feed you. How about that?
Huh? Look, dude, I'm just here to learn. Okay?
Well, let's radio everything. First, there was the dinosaurs, and then the Arabs came, and they then pumped oil and got rich.
No, dude. I mean the flat Earth. I wanna know about flat Earth. Yeah, yeah. Tell me
Oh,
like
oh
everything.
I was doing it like a scene from Airplane. You're probably too young to remember that movie. There's a scene where he goes, "Johnny, explain to me everything that happened before now." He's like, "First the dinosaurs came, and then a big meteor struck the Earth, and they turned into
That's
oil, and then
just
the Arabs
that's
came."
just funny as hell, bro.
This is ignorance. This is like being retarded. What the fuck are you saying? How old are you?
I'm quoting a movie, genius. You go watch it. It's a hilarious movie. It's called
How old are you?
Live a Little. Anyway, Jeffrey, what do you want to know?
Everything.
Okay, what do you know now?
Right now, I just know that um, you guys think Earth is flat. Tell me why. Like, tell me everything. How the sun works, and yeah, like,
What's the sun got to do
countdown.
with Earth?
Yeah.
What's the sun got to do with Earth?
Huh?
This is so ironic.
How come you said you guys think the Earth is flat, and then you said the sun?
Yes.
Uh, I don't know. I see a sun in the sky. I mean, how
Yeah,
does
in
that?
the sky.
Yeah.
Is the sky the ground?
No, but we can
Okay, then
observe
what's the
it.
sun got? Yeah, so what?
Just explain to me the sun. I'm not asking you a lot.
What do you mean explain it to you? What does that mean?
What the fuck is the sun for you?
What do you mean? I don't understand what that means. What's its composition? How old is it?
What
How
is the
far away is
sun?
it?
Tell me what the sun is. Is it like a planet? What the fuck is it?
Well, it's a big circle of light in the sky.
Why is it moving?
Why? I don't know. But you agree the sun moves, right?
Yeah, the sun moves.
Okay, cool. Welcome to Flat Earth.
If I'm in Norway and my friend is in South Africa, how can we like see the sun? Isn't it weird? Does it cover like a large area?
Why is that weird?
I don't know. Does it cover like a large
Do you
area?
see the sun in Africa?
You covered it already. The sun moves, right? The sun moves from one place. It'll be noon in one place, and then if you wait a little while, it'll be noon in some other place because
Yeah,
the
but
sun moved from one spot to another.
if two places are like sunny, then is it like close enough to be sunny?
Well, obviously, what does that mean? Is it close enough? Like distance from the Earth?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if it is. Let me ask you this. How much of the Earth do you think gets lit up by the sun at a time?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, how much? Like that's a percentage.
I cannot say percentage. Maybe like what, 60, 60, 50 maybe?
Of the Earth? The surface of the Earth?
Yeah, I don't know percentages.
Okay, in the globe model, so see
Yeah,
51%.
the 50 something.
51% of the Earth is supposed to see direct sunlight, and 67% of the Earth will have light, as in like direct sunlight plus like twilight, right? There's like
Wait,
nautical twilight, there's astronomical twilight, there's civil twilight, right? When the sun is set, but it's still light out, right? That's twilight. It's 67% of the Earth's surface. Okay, the point is the sun moves, dude. The sun moves and illuminates a local area.
Oh
and then it
no,
moves
I'm
away.
thinking of the Twilight thing. Wait, you said it's 60% Twilight and 50% Sun?
67.
67 and 51 Sun? How does that work? Isn't it like,
Direct sunlight. You tell me how it works, because it shouldn't work like that. Not on a globe. So on a globe, at maximum, only half the Earth should be lit up. Half of a sphere, right? You got a
well,
ball,
yeah, of course. But, ugh, fuck.
but it's more than that.
Yep.
It's a lot
Yeah,
more than that in
uh,
reality.
really?
Yeah,
How
really.
do,
In reality.
how do we know that?
Oh well, I mean,
How can I observe it? It's me.
yeah. Okay, so we have this. We have a thing called the equation of time. It's pretty accurate. Within 10 or 12 minutes, it tells you when the sunrise, sunset, solar noon, all those times. It's not based upon a globe. It's based upon a flat surface under a celestial sphere. So when you look up on Google, or wherever, say, "Hey, what time's the sunrise in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, on June 22nd?" The calculation they do to tell you that is not a globe. They don't use a globe to figure that out. Is what I'm telling you. Like if you
Oh,
look at the equations in the mathematics, there's no globe in the mathematics.
okay.
Okay, so there's
Um,
the celestial sphere, right? So if you look up at the sky, the stars, that's called the celestial sphere. It's assumed to be a sphere of infinite radius. Okay, and based upon the angle, like certain things are, like the celestial equator, you can predict the path of the sun if you know the time of year. Right? So
okay.
you can predict how long it's going to be daylight, how long it's going to be twilight, and that works out that if the Earth was a ball of 3,959-mile radius, 67% of the Earth would have daylight at a time, which don't really make geometric sense, but that's the way it is.
I see, I see.
Okay, but we don't rely on the sun to determine the shape of the Earth. There's nothing you can do observing the sun that would tell you anything about the Earth. All right, can't we just measure the Earth and figure out what it is, Jeffrey?
All right.
Shouldn't we
Uh,
just be able to measure the surface of the Earth and
um,
see if it's the curve that
yeah,
they say exists, which must
one
exist?
more question though. One more question. Why is the, not the weather, but like, um, weather? How can I say it? Why is the sky weird in North and South Pole? Like
Because
like those areas, it's really weird. Like I've been there, it's really weird. Like in the North one specifically.
what do you mean weird?
Like what are the Arctic lights?
Oh, you mean the aurora borealis?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you mean? What are they?
like why is the phenomenon like
What the fuck? Okay, let's just think about this scientifically. If I wanted to know what caused the aurora borealis, could I do a scientific experiment to figure that out?
no clue? I'm not a scientist. Are you?
Well, you can't think of an experiment though.
Me? No, I cannot think of an experiment. I'm an average person.
Okay, okay. So, okay, I'll walk you through the scientific method real quick. It's super simple. So, first step of the scientific method is observe a natural phenomenon. So, we're going to observe a natural phenomenon. We're going to look into nature and observe some phenomenon. Boom. We observe, hey, look, dude, there's these greenish frickin' orangish lights in the frickin' sky. I wonder what causes them. Okay, let's do an experiment. Okay, what's my dependent variable? Oh, that aurora borealis. Now, how do I find out the cause, which would be my independent variable? You can't. It's not possible because you can't manipulate the aurora borealis experimentally. So you can never figure out what causes it. You could figure out what correlates with their appearance, right? This event happens and then this other event happens and they're correlated to each other. But you can never figure out their exact, this X causes Y. You could say, hey, when we see a solar flare, that correlates with when we see an aurora borealis, but you can't say that that's the cause. The
All right.
correlation isn't causation. So I'll give you an example. Everyone in 1897 that ate pickles died.
Yeah. I got that. Okay. You don't have to do the example.
Yeah, okay. They just didn't die from eating pickles. But it is a correlation. Nobody knows what causes the aurora borealis. Sorry. Now, there's someone who told a cool story,
And
right?
final question: uh, how can I go from um, Papua New Guinea to America?
What do you mean? By
With,
train or automobile?
yeah, it takes doesn't really take a long time. I mean, it takes a long time, but like, how can I do like the circle?
Can you draw a circle on a table?
No, how can I go from Papua New
Yeah.
Guinea?
Can you say you're on a football pitch? Can you go in a circle on the football pitch?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah. You just go in a circle, brother. Circumnavigation just means going in a circle. Circle navigation.
But if I did like, if it was like that, then it would take me like 4 times the amount of time to go to America.
Says who?
What do you mean? Like, can I stream here? Oh fuck, I'm in Linux.
Okay.
If you have like a flat map, let's see. Wait, give me
You
a
see,
flat
first of
map
all,
really quick.
you're talking about the AE. Hold on. You're talking about the AE projection, and you're getting distances wrong. Okay, so AE projection is a globe distance. It's a globe coordinate projection, right? It's a double polar projection into a polar projection. You don't
I don't
measure distance. Hold on. You don't measure distances point to point. You're going to take one of these AE maps and you're going to draw a line from Papua New Guinea to North America. The distance you come up with is not going to be correct because that's not how distances are measured. So the way you measure distances on an AE map is you go from the center of the map to Papua New Guinea, you measure that line. Then you go from the center of the map to North America and you measure that line. And then you apply a calculation and that will give you the distance between those 2 points.
Like, I have no idea what you said, but I
I
mean,
know you don't.
yes, I can understand the last thing you said, but can you give me like a
Okay,
flat
you're
map?
measuring distances wrong. You're assuming that the distance on an AE map, if you would draw a line
Yeah,
between Papua New Guinea
I'm not a
and
good
North
link.
America, that distance is the distance of the map. It's not.
Like, because I'm a shitty listener, give me like your map, like a flat Earth map or something.
Yeah. Really? Is that really what you want? You don't
Yeah,
understand how maps work, but you want a map.
I'm better when I say visual.
Oh, so you want a cartoon?
Yeah, I want a cartoon.
Do you think the Earth looks like the map?
No, can you represent like
Okay, then why do you need a visual?
What do you mean? I mean, you.
To look at
What
what? To look at
is
something,
the?
some representation that doesn't look like the thing it's supposed to represent.
So there's
Why
no
do you
such
need to look
thing
at
as
it?
a map. So there's no such thing as like a map.
No, there is a map, but I'm too lazy to post it because it's just gonna lead to a rabbit hole because you don't understand maps.
To listen
So
everything
I'm
about
gonna teach
before.
you about how maps work, and I don't feel like doing it.
Oh,
You know how coordinate systems work. You know how scales
I
work. You know how any of this shit works.
I know coordinates and scale.
Okay, so you know what like a universal transverse Mercator map is? No, you don't. You know
Maybe
that latitude and
no. I'm
longitude.
not from America, so I don't know what
Well,
that means.
I mean, they use it all over the world, but that's not the
No
point.
different terms. No.
So let me ask you: do you think latitude and longitude are points on the ground?
Well, you can represent them as like points in a map. But in the
Yeah,
ground, yeah, kinda. Yeah, actually, yeah, I would say so.
okay. So, okay. So, if I asked you, hey, if latitude and longitude are points on the ground, you should be able to use the ground to find your latitude and longitude. Could you actually do that? If I stuck you somewhere, could you find what latitude and longitude you're on without looking at the sky?
Without looking at the sky, what will that like benefit me? How will the sky
Because
benefit?
the point I'm trying to make is that coordinate system is not based upon the ground; it's based upon the sky. Because the coordinates are actually in the sky.
The coordinates are
So
in
this
this.
is this is where we get into. This is why I like don't want I reluctant because you don't know how maps work, right? So the coordinate system of latitude and longitude is not based upon any ground reference, based upon the sky reference. This is how people navigate. So you say things like, "Hey, um, I want to travel between point A and point B. It should be this distance." Well, that distance is based that map that you're referencing is taken. There's the celestial sphere coordinate system. It was projected onto a flat plane. The little fucking continents they drew, they put a corresponding latitude and longitude coordinate system, but it's on a square, it's on a rectangular map. So there's a geometric transformation that has to be applied, and you can't just draw a line on the map and say, "Hey, this is how far two things are apart," because it's a transformation of coordinates. In like,
Yeah, yeah, I
eight,
know what you mean. I know what you
okay,
mean. Yeah,
so like, I don't know if you know what I mean, then you're trying to oversimplify things.
but yeah,
The map is not the territory.
and the same goes with the flat Earth map.
Okay. Well, it depends on what your spatial reference is. The map I'm talking about, it was derived by a guy named Antonio Subaret, who passed away. He wrote a book. It's called The Book of the Sun. He made a map, and he created it by looking at ship's logs, right? How long it takes to get from like point A to point B, shipping cargo, and countries that list their official areas, right? How big is so like Poland, for example. Poland has on their government websites how big the country is, right? Whatever, a million square miles, let's say, as an example. And he created an entire map by going to each country, getting their official freaking size that they say the country is, and basically jigsaw puzzling a whole fucking map together. And that's what his map is based upon. But if he and so like so when he on his map, because he also has a solar one overlaid over that, the longitude lines are like curved lines, and it's all messed up. That's why he wrote something called the Book of the Sun, because the sun has issues. Now, mind you, Antonio did a bunch of solar experiments, right? They did a 24-hour equinox stricken shadow angle experiment and the direction, and they did a bunch of stuff. So things aren't as straightforward as you probably think they are. Like when your friend, you brought up this example, like you're looking at the sun and your friend is somewhere else looking at the sun. In your mind, you probably think that you guys, if we could take the line of sight from your eye and the line of sight from his eye, that eventually those lines of sight will intersect at some object out there in 3D space. But guess what? They won't. You're looking at an apparent sun. He's looking at an apparent sun. You're not looking at the true sun. And even in the globe model, this is true. Even they say you don't see the real sun. And I'm not talking about the delay from the speed of light. I'm just talking about the sun itself. They say when you see a sunset, right? When you see a sun on the horizon, it has already physically set and is over the horizon, and that the air is bending the fucking light up over the horizon, and that you're seeing the projected image
How
of
the
the sun.
fuck does that happen? How does it get behind the earth without you seeing it get there? That fucking still boggles my mind.
Yeah. Well, the only point is there's an apparent sun. You don't see the true position of the sun.
Yeah. D. Marble did 3-person observation, didn't he? It was like
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
Germany, and Australia,
FaceTime.
all sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Washington State, Australia, and the UK.
Oh, it was UK, was it? UK, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all at the same time.
I think the only reason why they say that because it takes longer to set than what they anticipate, towards the models actually says.
Yeah, pretty much the reason they say, "Oh, it must be an apparent sun," because like you said, right? Because the sun, the equinox is too long.
Mission failed.
The
Think
equinox,
about it, though.
the day length is off by like 10 minutes. So since it's off by 10 minutes, they have to say, well, the sun isn't doing the 15 degrees per hour. You're losing like 10 minutes on sunrise and sunset or something, or you're getting an extra 10 minutes.
You really believe the Earth is flat, mate?
No, no. Where's
Yeah, they
no,
do.
brother?
They believe it's flat. They're degenerates.
The
It's
words,
fucking
the
embarrassing.
words no.
Mission
I know the
failed.
earth is flat.
You negative
So
one.
you have beliefs because you think it's a goal based on a TV show.
Shut up, Indio. You're retarded.
Yeah, that's a great argument.
Yeah, it is.
Boy, you're not supposed to say the all
Look, dude, I could
You
be
know how they
completely
feel about
retarded, and
that,
I'd
mate.
still. I could be completely retarded, and I'd still be right.
Put on your tinfoil hat and shut the fuck up, dude. It's embarrassing.
What
Is that all you got,
conspiracy?
dude, for intellectual discussion, Mighty? Is that all you got? You're dropping
Shut the
this
fuck up,
stupid
you.
ass.
You shut the fuck up, too.
Hey,
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, shut the fuck up, dude. You shut the fuck
This
I
up.
don't
is
have to
it?
lose
Shut
the
the fuck up.
debate if I get banned.
Is that it, Mighty? Fucking bullshit.
It's sad he can't just have a normal conversation with
I
it.
said tinfoil hat is supposed to be because aliens, so that's mostly a Glover shit.
Damn, did I miss the upset Globers?
You just missed it.
Drip.
It's spiraling already.
Tinfoil hat,
Instantly.
They've been trending
He's
like this all
he's
day.
very
I'm
upset. He's very
We
upset.
got
We
one
don't
guy
like
in
his
here.
TV show.
One guy in here has been pretty chill.
No, Jeffrey's good. He just don't like talking about the Earth. He wants to talk about the sun and whatever.
Well, they are
And
sun
maps,
worshippers.
driving around, and
They're
Jeffrey
heliocentrists. What do you expect?
Yeah, Jeffrey left Indio.
yeah, that was one of those run interference things. Hurry up, save me! I don't got nothing left. My gotcha's all failed. Come in, just troll, and then I'll dip while they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Boy, lay down the smokes.
But Indio, you think about
They're
it,
like
man.
on the smoke screen. It's a stun grenade.
Hey, Indio, right? So I'm gonna give you a flashlight, right? And you're going to shine it at me, and you're going to walk behind a wall, right? But what you have to do is not allow me to see the light go behind the wall and remain in my view.
Who are you, Jaren?
But that's what they're claiming with the sun, right? At sunset. How does that
There
make
should
any
be a
fucking
point.
sense?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
afternoon.
so the sun is going beyond. So the sun is going beyond an obstruction of Earth curvature, but yeah, you can still see it.
Let me just preface this conversation real quick because we got the guy who's from the Air Force coming back in a third time from an interaction he had with AI last night and one with us this morning. So that's who's just stepped in and said hello.
Oh, I was just dropping by, brother. That's all.
Yeah, I'm just
Bored.
prefacing it because a lot of people don't know the Air Force. So his argument was Coriolis, number one with AI, and then number two today was GPS. So I don't know where else he's going to go with that, but.
Oh no, I'm not here to debate. there's nothing for me to fucking. I'm just waiting for my boys to get on. That's all. I was just gonna listen to the debate. Is all.
This is a no listening panel.
Say again.
This is a no dropping by, no listening panel.
Oh, you gotta speak up when you're talking to me, man. I can't hear shit. I'm sorry. Sorry.
My headphones are probably trash.
No, it's not you.
He's trying to say he's trying to say it's mandatory participation time.
Yeah, this is a mandatory hour.
I'm tired. I've been up for fucking like 18 or 19 hours now. I'm fucking tired.
Holy mackerel! What the heck are you doing on Discord?
Ratio's gonna go down.
My schedule's changing for work, so I have to fucking do day shift right now. So it fucking sucks.
Are you some sort of MP or something? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm security forces. Yep.
Oh shit! You're catching all the drunkards and AWOLers.
Oh yeah.
Get your ass back in there. Anyway.
What convo? Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't want to do that shit right now. If it was Air Force, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Fucking try to get me a recruit, get me some rank. You know what I mean?
No stamina. Yeah, no stamina for conversation again.
So, are you enlisted or are you not? You're enlisted, right?
Yeah, I wish I was a fucking officer. Fuck, dude.
They sure make a lot of. They sure make a lot of money. I know. I was.
He would have enough time to be on here. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So right now I'm on leave. I don't have anything going on, but my cycle's changing when I go back. So I'm trying to get my days and nights together. You know what I mean? Do that whole spiel before I go, so I'm not falling asleep and then getting NJP'd to fucking oblivion. NJP's like paperwork. You lose rank and shit if you fall asleep. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm good to go, so to speak.
You better get your 40 winks in, man. Don't fuck around.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those watches can be brutal. I know. I remember.
Oh yeah, what'd you do?
I was a machinery repairman in the Navy. I worked on a submarine tender.
Yeah, my dad was Navy and Air Force. My dad was on the USS Constellation CV-64 Westpac Fleet as a rescue swimmer. So
interesting.
Yep.
Oh, he's a squid just like you, Sonny.
Yeah, he's a squid. Hey, you're fleet meat. You know what I mean?
Your dad was mixed.
They might have shared a bunk.
Yeah, he was air crew. He was an air crew rescue swimmer.
Right on. Well, I was going to be a Navy diver. I took the swimming test. I passed the diving swimming test, the initial test. But I decided I spent enough time as a civilian underwater cleaning bottoms. I'm like, I had enough of that. So I decided not to go in. I probably could have been a SEAL or something if I wanted to, but I decided not.
Yeah, 6 months training. That's pretty hard. Yeah, I'm not doubting you, but fucking shit's hard.
Some kind of effort for the globe.
I was 26 when I joined, and I was doing the Navy divers swimming test, and I was swimming with 17, 18, 20-year-olders, and I was keeping up with them at 26, so I was pretty good shape back then. But that was 40 years ago.
So, yeah, basically, before my dad went to the Navy. My dad was up, he did pararescue in '94, I believe. He didn't make it. That was, Air Force, obviously. Obviously, I think the majority of people think that their dads are, their role model and shit. This dude would do 118 push-ups. Back then it was 2 minutes, right? So your 2-minute PT test. I'm sure the Navy does 2 minutes still, but Air Force does 1 minute. He would do 118 push-ups in 2 minutes, like 90-something sit-ups, and then however the fuck many pull-ups, probably like close to 20s or in the 20s. And then he would run like a 8:30-something mile and a half. That's Air Force, like Special Warfare Selection.
That's pretty wild. When I was in the Navy, I would do 200 push-ups a day every day for 4 years. I did that. Now, that was throughout the whole day. So I would do like a couple of sets of 50 and do that a couple times a day. But 118 push-ups in 2 minutes, like that's pretty fast.
Hey, if you don't mind, for the guy who was in here, you know how we gave you the link to our server? Did you check out anything that's over there?
Yeah, I skimmed through it a little bit. I looked. It was kind of hard to find this shit, but yeah, I looked and do it a little bit. But I had a bunch of shit to do earlier today. Like I just got back on my feet.
Is there any questions you have of any material that you've seen though so far? Sorry, guys, I'm redirecting it back to.
There's like really nothing I want to talk about.
All right.
I think
Well,
I think it got tired of getting his ass whooped. It was
No, it's just I didn't really read into it thoroughly, and I don't want to debate something that I don't know anything about.
Smart guy. Yeah.
Yeah, come back and ask us, because a lot of us here have our own YouTube channels with a lot of information and videos that have been taken down from elsewhere. And a lot of these YouTube videos that we have personally, you're not going to find them. Even if you type in the name, they won't come up. So yeah, we have a lot of information here. I mean, Indio's got a channel. I have a channel.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be a debate, right? We don't have to do a debate. We can just have a discussion about the Earth.
All discussions turn into debates.
Nah.
You know what I mean? So,
what points have you heard us make that you remember?
Like
what? Any good arguments or things you found interesting since you started?
Well, I mean, I think every side has good arguments. I'll say that, right? You guys are entitled to believe what you are.
But what are some of the flat Earth ones that you've heard? You heard any flat Earth arguments?
I've heard some crazy stuff. It's kind of hard to wrap my fucking mind around, right? Like, and it's not necessarily an argument. It's not really an argument, right? It's just I've heard a few people say it, like with asteroids and meteorites, people like denying that they exist. I mean, that's probably
I don't know if they're denying. Well, it depends what you mean. I mean, the light phenomena that you see in the sky, I don't think people are denying that exists, but maybe denying that it's a rock from outer space flying and smashing into the ground, yeah?
Yeah, so I mean, that was probably the thing that stuck for, like,
Is that wild, though? I mean, have you ever seen a rock fly from outer space and hit the ground?
We actually discussed this earlier. I have, yeah. When I was about 6 or 7 years old, yeah. We had
hit the ground?
Well, no, it's on CCTV. Our school showed it, right? So there was a meteor shower, whatever it's called, and it actually hit someone's car and fucked it up really bad. And it was on camera for the longest time, and I'm in my 20s now, so yeah, I have seen it.
Must have totally obliterated the car if it was a meteorite.
Yeah, that's the mass. It depends on the mass of the actual object. You know what I mean? It's all relative.
How do you know it came from outer space?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what somebody asked. Like, how do you know someone didn't just like fucking drop it from a plane or some shit, or it didn't fall off of a plane?
I'm not even saying that. I'm not saying it came from an airplane. I'm just saying, how do you know the rock? Well, I mean, there's this thing called rains of animals, right? Where animals just fall out of the sky. Now, I could just say, well, they came from outer space. And you're like, how do you know they came from outer space? Like, where else would they come from? Like, that's not an actual affirmative argument for them coming.
I'm not arguing. I was just stating, like I said, I'm not going to argue. I'm just here chilling out for like.
No, I'm just saying, like, you don't actually know where they came from, like where these things originate. We don't know. And people that claim they know, it's not like they tracked them from outer space to the Earth.
Right. Yeah.
Just so you know, Indio, 10 hours ago, this young chap was given the tag "Cool Story, Bro" for that exact same story.
Well, I mean, I'll give him credit because he's already doing better than 90% of Clovers because he said, "Hey, I'm not going to talk about something I don't know." At least he doesn't have like instant expert syndrome. Like I got Google, so I'm an expert on the topic because I think I can Google fast enough to debate you, which is silly. At least you're not doing that. So credit to
Yeah,
him
it's
for
nice.
that.
You can tell he's not one of the usual insecure Globers that's already spiraling, trying to insult, passive aggressive.
Oh, that was yesterday. Sorry, you might have missed it.
Yeah, I was fucking with. I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking with the VC really hard yesterday. I'm not gonna bullshit. I thought it was funny as fuck. Much of my
I'm
boys
glad
came
you're
in here
over
and yeah,
So
well, it was
let
just
me kind of break
I've done it
something
before.
down.
It's funny.
I just want to break something down. Kind of like
Yep.
we get it, all of us, right? Everyone in this chat grew up hearing the same stuff. Meteors come from space, comets are ice balls, yada yada yada, right? The thing is, we're at the stage where like, well, how do I know any of that is actually true? Right? How do I know it isn't just like the same mythology they used to tell 2,000 years ago about what the stars are and what the lights in the sky are? How do I know it isn't on the same level as that?
I mean, that's just something that you got to figure out yourself, man. Like, I can't tell you how to live your life or
And
what to
that's why
believe.
we're here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, like, why do I have to believe anything? That's the thing. Like, why do I have to? Why do I have to believe rocks from space story? Why can't I say, hey, dude, I don't know what they are, and neither do you?
I'm all right, sporadic.
Well, not you. I'm not talking. I mean, the royal you, not you specifically.
No, I wasn't. I was referring to the comment in the chat. So yeah, you don't have to believe anything, man. You're your own free person. You can believe what you want, whether you don't even need to have a reason to believe it. You know, a lot of people here are religious, right? And they choose
believe what I
to.
want to.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You know, we're in a free country. You can do whatever you want.
Choose to
All power
reject
to you.
claims that don't have evidence.
If you want to start protesting out in the middle of the street, fucking saying that the Earth is flat, all power to you. That's your right, man.
You're kind of on our side. You're on our side then, because that's what we're saying. But we take a problem with the mainstream education and media system where they're not giving kids a choice. They're not saying, "Hey, kids, we know you experience a flat, motionless Earth, and there's no evidence to the contrary, but what we give you on a screen."
Yeah,
so they're not giving them that option.
I'll say this: I think that the media, generally speaking, personal opinion, does have its, obviously every media outlet has an extreme bias nowadays. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish it was back to the time of when I was a young kid and like C-SPAN was really popular and like people could just talk like rational adults. I miss the fuck out of that. So I don't watch the news either. You know what I mean? Like I just.
So yeah, so you should be concerned that they are censoring flat Earth. Why can't people research it, talk about it?
Well, I see it on both sides. You know what I mean? I see it no matter what it's about, whether it's, Republican, Democrat, whether it's, people talking about different countries.
Yeah, but it would be the equivalent. It's not quite Republican Democrats because it would be like Republican Democrats, but one party isn't allowed on TV and isn't allowed to speak and gets shut down whenever they try and speak. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
There's a massive movement of suppression of people because, to tell you the truth, I think the majority of people, like I think I was telling Sporadic this, if I'm not mistaken, like people are just like not in their comfort zone, right? And they don't want to debate this shit. They want to debate shit that they can just like echo chamber over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong.
What? Crazy.
Yeah, we have a guy in our. I was just saying, we have a guy in our chat who's actually, the example of that. His name's Mighty. He came in here just saying nonsense and just saying, obscene words just because he doesn't want to have the conversation. So it's embedded in people's psyche, man, that they can't have this type of conversation or the level of it, where we're critically thinking about the topics that are being brought up here. So it angers people because they want to cling to their bias. So
right, well, both sides do it. I mean, like with all due respect to all you gents, like I see y'all doing it too. I'm not naming names, but I do see y'all do it a lot too. With all due respect.
No. We don't have control over the mainstream establishment and what's promoted. They're promoting the
I'm talking about here,
silencing us.
here, like locally. It happens.
Well, yeah, but you have to moderate, right? You have to silence people who are dropping N-bombs and going crazy.
Right.
Which is basically what we do.
So to the point, no one is censoring the globe Earth rhetoric. So you can't say that that's happening on both sides. No one is
quite
out
the
there
opposite.
saying. No one is out there saying, okay, this globe Earth stuff. There's no measured curvature on Earth. No one's saying that. No one's like when they come out with the rhetoric for the globe. That's basically fairy tales for adults. Nobody's stopping them from their rhetoric, but it comes to Flat Earth, they have to post all these things on all of our channels, shadow ban us, put us in dark corners where no one can get to our websites or YouTube channels. Like, no one's doing that on the Globe side. Quite the opposite.
So I want to bring up something you might not know. So a few years back now, I think it was 2018 or 2019, the one of the executives, Susan something for YouTube, testified before Congress. It was a committee against misinformation or something. Of the things they brought up to censor, flat Earth was the only one specifically mentioned.
Well, yeah, but I mean, also, like, if you look at 20, like, okay, I'm going to say this because,
They think it's ridiculous.
I don't want to talk in official capacity.
Well, hold on. Comparatively, just think about comparatively. They think flat Earth is so ridiculous, and anyone that thinks about it is stupid. Well, why aren't they censoring aliens and Bigfoot and frickin' fairies and leprechauns and Tartaria and all these other things? Why aren't they testifying before Congress how these things need to be censored?
Right, and
Oh,
there's just
because
no
people can
rational
exist
answer.
on a globe.
I don't think flat Earth has enough, publicity to actually do that. And also, like, it's not necessarily just like flat Earth. I see a lot of it. Like even in 2020, I'm not going to give an opinion on it, but abortion, gun rights, other legislation, people, gay rights, stuff like that. I'm not going to say it, but that is, illness that was happening from 2019. A lot of stuff about that, it was deemed misinformation, right? Or misogyny, or just being plain old fucking ignorant, and then they just wouldn't screen it. And to be fair, they do have the right to do that. It is a privately owned company, but it's wrong, It's wrong. Like, I think that's wrong. Like, I wish that we could just have an outlet that was independent and didn't have to claim an affiliation.
I mean, that's like but my argument is that flat Earth is censored differently. Right? You hear Barack Obama say, "We don't have time for a meeting of a flat Earth society." What does that mean? He's saying people don't believe in my government policies. They're dumb flat earthers. Or, hey, what is the dumb flat earther thing? Nobody knows because we tried to look them up, but it's completely censored off of YouTube. Right? So, like, you can't even tell what a flat earther is. It's like some nebulous idea out there.
Right. And
have you ever talked to a flat earther before coming in here?
I have, yeah. So there's a lot of hippies that live near me, with all due respect, and some of them are like kind of pseudo-religious. And I'm not saying that all flat earthers are hippies. I'm just saying that this person happened to be a hippie, and they were like, I don't want to say pseudo-religious, but like very religious, and they, were quoting scripture and everything to me and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, the talking about the firmament, stuff like that. That's where I heard it the first time. So
that might have been Sonny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. Sonny wouldn't be like that. He'd be like, he's spitting the facts at you.
But
it should just be a red flag to see how the topic is treated in the mainstream. I mean, it's certainly not equivalent. Like, one side is promoted to the hill, and the other side is completely censored. And we're asking to have the honest discussion in the debate, which is what you would expect of any honest side. And the other side saying, no, we're just going to shut you down. You're not allowed to talk. We don't want to hear what you have to say. We're just going to ridicule you. That alone should be raising a red flag. Like, why are they treating this so disingenuously? Why don't they just debate it and expose to the world how fallacious they claim it is?
Right. hold on, give me 1 second.
It's supposed to be a scientific question, right? Because it's supposed to be a scientific question. What do they teach in school? There is no dumb question. There is no question off limits to science. Apparently, flat Earth is one of them.
Yeah. Well, see, like people just don't have I said it earlier. Respect isn't given; it's earned, and I'm a strong believer in that. Like, if I went around just being like super, super respectful to everybody, right? Like in my civilian life, I mean, you wouldn't fucking get anywhere because you would be waiting for everybody to talk, and you would never get your point out, right? And that's what you see the media doing. They're very disrespectful when they talk to people that disagree with them. Like even Bill Nye. Everybody here grew up watching Bill Nye. Everybody is probably past their 20s, correct?
So yeah, we know Bill Nye.
So I mean, like even him, right? He used to not be so fucking political, and now he's political. He's pro-abortion, right? And he just fucking shits on everybody all the time. He's a politician now. So
he's just another mouthpiece. Yeah, that's all he's been.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. The people that try to suppress flat Earth, we call them anti-flat earthers. So they're basically like flat Earth groupies that run around, make YouTube videos, debate flat earthers. And if you look at them one by one, they're all fucking moral degenerates, crazy fucking libtard, with all the alphabet shit, right? Rainbow nonsense. There's a definite Professor Dave. There's a correlation between people that defend the mainstream narrative and their political affiliation.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to, it's funny that you're bringing that up, but I'm seeing those characteristics in this very Discord, right? I'm seeing channels for that. I've joined those channels. That's the only reason I really hang out here is because, personal opinion, those people fucking annoy me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like talking to those people that are just like one way leaning and they just don't fucking, they won't hear anybody's opinion. Like I grew up as a Republican, right? I was a liberal before a Republican. And I'm more conservative and Republican than anything right now. Right, but I still have the common courtesy to hear somebody's, discussion.
Well, we're always here on the Globe side to present their piece. Like, we're not silencing the Globers. We're quite the opposite. We're telling them, hey, come in, present your evidence, and let's discuss it. So,
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you could say that, right? But some people might feel differently. I have seen heated arguments in here. I've been parts of heated arguments, especially, a year or so back, right before I even left for the, to do my advanced training in the military. And,
arguments happen and then people get motivated. But the only reason
I don't agree with muting,
presenting. Well, sometimes, we have a show on YouTube, right? It's streamed 24/7. And if you don't have listenable content, then what's the point? So yeah, we need to keep it one-on-one and legible and audible, so we can't have folks spazzing out, so people have to get muted.
Right. I know, but like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to run your channel, but like for me, I would probably just like hop on that account, right? And then just like manually mute them, like let them talk. If they want to be dumb and just keep repeating a bunch of wrong bullshit, respectfully to whoever it is.
We do, but we have to keep it within reason. I mean, we do let them expose themselves and flip out and go mad, because it's a good demonstration of what's the majority of people end up doing when they try and argue for the globe. But it comes a certain point where we want to have an intelligent conversation.
We want them to talk. We want them to talk. Look, you can't have a globe earther trying to defend the globe, and within 10 sentences maximum, they'll contradict their own claim. They'll throw their own claim under the bus.
Yeah.
All the time. Well, we want them to talk. Why would we censor them? They're the best.
Let me say this.
One more thing. Well, just one more thing. We don't convince people the Earth is flat. Globe earthers do.
Right. Okay. So let me just say one thing. All right. I am really, really against, like even from my time in training, I'm against intentionally making people look stupid. Right. And I understand people are going to say, well, they're saying it, right? Like if you have somebody that's upset, and like you just keep agitating and like fucking, like throwing fuck yous and hey, retard this and like muting them and shit, like you're not adding to it, you're making it worse because you're literally demonizing their image. Like if I sat in here like I was yesterday and just pissing off everybody, I mean Matrix saw it, right? I was fucking with people constantly. I was pissing people off bad. People were yelling and fucking, screaming and shit.
No,
Yeah, so you should have been
You
muted.
know, right. That's
He
what I'm
was.
saying, right? So like
Yeah,
it goes
so-
both ways. You know, it's
Well,
like
yeah, well, that's why we mute people. When people are
Yeah.
flipping out, not adding anything intelligent to the discussion and just trying to intentionally annoy people, of course
Right.
they get muted. That's how you just run a stable channel. This is why whichever server we go to, we have the highest numbers of people, the biggest, longest hours of any room in the server, because we actually keep it moderated so that there can actually be coherent conversation going on. But that's all by the by. I mean, how we moderate, I mean, it speaks for itself. We get more hours than any other room on any server
Yeah,
we go to.
what's the guy? What's the Battlefield guy? Like you say, you come in for the topics of that make you angry, that are not fair or they're unjustified. Like, do you think that this kind of topic, this flat versus globe, you think that that those who believe that they used to be a fish and they're spinning on a globe with no purpose, no reason that brought them together, and they're now claiming these aughts, these moral aughts? Do you think that they have like an ideology in common with all these different topics in regards to flat Earth?
I mean, you just can't. Are you talking to me? I apologize.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Like, you asked our opinion. That's my opinion. Yes, there. In my experience, there's a correlation between. It's the thing we kind of make fun of, right? These people, they argue for the globe, and then they issue all these oughts, but then 5 seconds later they're saying, "Well, I can't prove anything is real. I could be a brain in a jar," right? So it's like it's a type of I hate like stereotyping people, but there's the people that defend the globe the hardest are the people that the only way I can describe it is like they're solipsist, atheist, moral degenerates, or the other type is like outer space fanboys, and the third type would be government apologists that they're arguing against us to defend the system.
Right.
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 All the
Yeah.
teachers can't be wrong. All the scientists can't be wrong. The entire government can't be lying. Like the authorities said this, and this is the way it is. And why are you guys going? They literally will say, "Well, I think the Earth is a globe because like credible authorities told me." And you go, "Okay, how did you judge their credibility?" I don't know. Like they don't know anything. Like it's there's a weird dynamic. It's hard to boil it down to like some simple thing.
What I find suspicious, though,
Go ahead.
you'll never hear a flat earther talk about all the items that are lost due to the curvature of the Earth.
Poison.
Yeah. Let me just. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm reading the chat and people are
I
just
got all
fucking
my
going
shit.
at
I'm
it.
looking at my wallet. Everything's still there. I didn't lose it over the.
So let me just say this, right?
Is that where my socks went?
People they're used to living a certain way, right? So their mechanism is freak the fuck out, right? When they're presented with an idea that does not align with theirs. I think we all agree there. The average person is going to freak the living fuck out when they're given an idea that does not rationalize with theirs. As far as the brain in the jar thing, I actually think I kind of made a good point that day, not trolling, right? Because a lot of it goes into nihilism, right? Say that you take somebody that was a globe earther, right, and they turn into a flat earther, right? Why would you even care about anything anymore, right? Well, with not regarding religion, not like regarding a moral compass based on religion, if everything you know has quote unquote been proven to be a lie, right? So that's why I was fucking around and I was like, nothing's real. You know what I mean? Because that's how people are gonna react. That would be the chaos that would be presented if people did that shit.
Yeah, it's called ego death.
Right.
And it's
But that makes sense, right? Yeah.
It's a necessary experience. Then you come out on the other side and you say, well, that was bullshit. Time to look into what isn't bullshit. So
because I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Ooh, my fucking foot is cramping. Give me a sec.
So you're not a 99%er.
So, fuck, dude. What was I gonna say, dude? That fucking hurt. So let me say this, right? Like, if somebody proved right now, and this isn't an invitation, I'm just saying this. If somebody proved to me right now that the Earth was flat and everything that I knew about the Earth was a lie, and say the
There's
government
no curvature. We've told you before. There's no measurable curvature. If there's no curvature, there's no ball.
Let me just finish what I was going to say. All right.
I know you've got a script. I just like breaking it because every time you've read the same script, we've replied there's no curvature, and you've just pretended like nothing was said. So you tell us where there's measured curvature, and we'll let you go on.
So yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, damn, that was weird.
Exactly.
If somebody was going to like somehow prove to me that the Earth was actually flat, right?
What would it change?
I don't even know what the fuck I would do. So that's why I think a lot of people come in here because they realize they have no idea what they're talking about, right? Or they can't logically discuss it with people for an extended period of time, and they just keep fumbling over themselves, right? And then they go.
Yeah, we understand that.
Right.
Yeah, we understand that people all freak out when they realize that they don't know what the Earth is or where they are. But that's not really our fault, and it's just something you have to go through. Then what we're going to do? Just say, okay, we shouldn't. I mean, maybe that is what's happening on some level, that they don't trust people with the information, but we're putting it out there regardless. So if you can handle it, great. If you can't handle it, then that's up to you.
Well, but is it on the table for you
I don't
still?
think they go that far, right? They don't go to the point of freaking out. They go to where this guy's at, being unconvinced. So he's unconvinced that the Earth is flat. Like he's lying to himself, and so he's preventing the freak out by you've been told how many times there's no curvature.
Yeah. So
no, but is it on the table for you, bro? Is it still on the table? Is it like,
what do you mean? That the Earth is flat?
Are you sure, without a doubt, that the Earth is a globe?
Yes.
Okay.
And what evidence do you have for that?
Well, look, I just said I don't want to debate it. All right, guys, I really don't. I have to leave here in about 4 minutes. I have a turn.
So you're not willing to present any evidence right now. And you said a minute ago, hold on, I was talking. So you said a minute ago, if you were convinced the Earth was flat, you wouldn't know what to do. And I have the reason why. Because you actually, in all of your life's experience to this date, you've only seen and practically used the Earth as flat, stationary, and contained. And everybody else you know has also experienced it the same way. Everybody that navigates on Earth, that builds something with level, they're all using Earth as practically flat. So sea level doesn't mean curved. So you've never experienced Earth as a ball, ever.
Okay, so
that is his ball.
Not going into that. With all due respect, you can't necessarily say what I've seen in my life. You weren't there. You weren't spectating me like it's a Black Ops 2 lobby.
Yes, I can.
Right. Okay. So
because everybody's experienced Earth the same way. You haven't experienced Earth as a sphere. Nobody has.
So okay, I'm not okay. Let me just get this out of the way.
Okay. So you can't say anything contrary to that because you know in your heart of hearts that the only time you've ever seen Earth as a globe is on a TV screen of some sort. That's the only time.
Okay, so let me see this. It's not necessarily the fact that you can't observe curve. All right, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about the other common beliefs that come along with flat Earth.
Like what?
Like the whole asteroid thing. It is very, very hard for me to listen. Let me just finish, right?
Yeah,
it's not a belief; it's a lack of belief. Like
right. But like I witnessed it. I saw it.
Incongruity. There's a claim. The claim doesn't have. Yeah, but you didn't see it come from space.
Okay, so like
No, I think you need to be stopped because how does something falling out of the sky, in any sense, determine what the surface condition is in the first place?
Okay, so look, let me just, guys, look, you're making this.
Okay, so you can't connect those two logically, and that's why you're diverting. Yeah, we hear it. We hear you diverting from the actual question. You wouldn't answer the question. So anytime you're uncomfortable with the question that you don't have an answer for, you divert to another question.
What question would that debate?
Yeah, I said it. How does something falling out of the sky, in any sense of the word, have anything to do with the surface condition.
And I told you it wasn't about the surface condition. I told you that it was about the other beliefs that typically flat Earth might have.
We don't have
Did
beliefs.
I or did I not say that? Make that
we don't have beliefs. We don't make up stories. You're the one that has a story.
I'm lying. Anyways, so like I witnessed something, right? And everybody here thinks, their own thing, right? But I witnessed it. I don't know if it would take me to get the fucking flight plans of 2000 and whatever the fuck of when I was 6 years old and make sure some government agent didn't throw it out of a plane. I mean, it's just crazy. Like
it doesn't have anything to do.
That's
doesn't have anything to do with the surface condition.
Oh, first of all, you're straw manning our position. Okay, that's bad enough. But you saying we have all sorts of beliefs. No, dude, you're mischaracterizing it. We don't have beliefs. You do. You saw a flashing light in the sky and you were like, rock come from space. You have no evidence it came from space. We don't have a belief. You do.
Okay, well, you have no evidence that, like, and this is the issue, right? Because I can sit here and say the same thing about you, and then you're like, well, you're proving it because you're saying it.
About the curvature that's not measured.
No, forget let's get to. I just want to deal with the logic of this. What if they told you it shot out of the fucking 20th dimension?
I'm losing. Just say it one more time, louder a little bit. I'm sorry.
What if they said instead of it coming from space, the rock came out of a portal from the 20th dimension?
Yeah. Okay, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about real. We're talking about real world stuff.
Yeah. How do you know, dude? You're not talking about when you say it came from space. You're not talking about anything real world. You didn't observe that.
Okay, so
space is real.
So
I believe that's the thing, right? Space is real. Like.
Okay,
it's a real thing.
How do you know?
Because it's.
What do you mean? We can literally look right at it.
Yeah, like
what's it look like?
Is this like the movie
at outer space?
Like there's a giant comet flying into the Earth. The comet's not there if you don't see it.
We literally look at an empty void with celestial bodies.
Oh, so an empty void is space.
So
yes, that's kind of where space is. What's in an empty void? Space.
I looked into my closet. It was all black. Is that space?
Yes.
You're completely deriving an empty closet to another subject. But yes, if you were to have an empty closet, there would be space. That's where the name is derived.
Yeah, space is just that. Yeah.
Retard. It has the same properties.
Hey, language, bro.
Whoa, this is what we're talking about, right? He never disrespected you.
Yeah, so it has. Yeah, he did. So by doing this,
this is what I'm talking about.
So really simple. The thing he described as outer space, I just described something with the identical properties.
You do realize there's a difference between an amount of space and outer space, right? Outer space is a whole different subject from an empty closet. We're just trying to explain to you the meaning of why it's called outer space. It's because it's a giant void filled with room.
How do you know
okay?
That?
Because we look right at it. Do you see anything close to our planet that is mainly probably like a mile away? No, it's not a filled. It's not a filled void. It's an empty void.
You're yapping. I'm asking you. How do you know it's a giant void? You just said. What else would it be?
Y'all should
is this dude like mentally enfeebled, or am I just like?
No, answer the question. Answer the question. How do you know when you look up and you see the black shit? It is a giant empty void.
Because we have actually sent things into that empty void. We have seen rockets launch into the atmosphere.
Who is we? Who is we?
Millions upon billions of people have watched a rocket launch, breaking the ozone layer.
Birds aren't real.
Now dude, you're spiraling, bro. Millions and
I'm spiraled when I literally just gave you a valid reason. If we can send a giant metal craft to break out of our atmosphere and enter a void, that would be called knowing what would be out there, because we have cameras.
Preach it, brother.
We have different satellites that orbit our solar system.
Dude, you're just
dude, like, let me give you a valid reason and tell you that it's, and then you tell me that it's wrong. Sure, just keep on doing it. I just gave you three. I just gave you three.
Stop talking.
Shut up, dude. So you said your valid reason Millions and billions of people have launched shit into space. That is horse shit, and you know it.
Guys, what did Elon do? Oh, hold up. What did Elon do exactly? What did Elon do this year, last year, and the year before that? What did he do? What did he launch into outer space? What did billions of people watch on live television?
We did it, bro. Watch it on television. It wasn't on TV. It wasn't live on TV. Try again.
Oh yeah, my bad. On the internet, but yes, it was live on TV.
That's what he put up there.
YouTube.
It was on NBC.
Yeah. So listen, and YouTube let SpaceX edit a fucking live stream after the fact and change nothing. Didn't lose any views.
Where's your source? Where's your source? Where's your source?
The Falcon Heavy.
Where's your source, dude? I'm not getting heavy. I'm asking for a source. If I can literally source it back to what you said, which was YouTube, and you said it was edited, what's your source?
Okay, I'm trying to answer your question, but you're talking over me.
No, you're not. I asked you once, you couldn't answer me.
You talk over me some more.
Alright, you know, I'll mute myself, you explain.
I'm going to try again for the third time. So I'm going to try again for the third time. Yep. Go to SpaceX's YouTube channel, type in Falcon Heavy launch. It's the first launch of Falcon Heavy with the Tesla on it. Go to about 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and what you see is an overlay, a split screen overlay, and it's overlaid onto the bezel. That's because the live stream, they accidentally showed the cameras from supposed to be 2 rockets, but they showed the video feed from the same rocket, and they went in after the launch and added the second feed over the first feed. And you can see it. And you can actually go find the original that other people live streamed, their live stream, and it has the original video where it shows that it has the same view from one rocket on the same thing. YouTube let them go in and edit it. You don't know what you're talking about. And what you want to know what Elon said about that? He said this twice about 2 different launches. He said, "You know it's real because it looks so fake."
Okay. For one, if we're talking about what you saw that day, that would be speculation. Second of all, that's camera delay, bro. Okay, so here's the thing. When you were watching
speculation.
Let me explain.
Explain. No. You're not going to explain your stories. You're not going to come in here and preach.
Okay,
we want verified evidence.
He doesn't even know what I'm talking about. There was 2 booster rockets on the Falcon Heavy. There was a camera on each booster rocket. The feed was supposed to show the camera from booster 1 and booster 2. Instead, they showed both fucking split screens were booster 1 camera. They went back in after the fact and added booster 2 camera. And when they overlaid it over the fucking what they call the chyron, the display of all the fucking the numbers, right? T plus 21 minutes, 110 kilometers per hour or 10 kilometers altitude. And then it was the final altitude was 110 kilometers, and that ain't fucking space. So it wasn't a live feed. Millions and billions of people don't launch rockets. Black shit in the fucking sky does not mean outer space fucking vacuum. Okay? And there is no we. There's them. They told you a story. You believe it. There's only them. There's no we.
So it's just going to be a bit of pearls to swine.
This guy thinks he's a Borg collective.
He wants to explain the lipstick on his collar.
Is he still here?
So something's black, therefore it's a vacuum. So like my T-shirt's a vacuum.
Obviously, that. Where's the other guy?
Is it only a vacuum at nighttime, or?
Oh God!
My wife's a vacuum.
She's a Hoover.
Yeah, she is a Hoover, dude. I don't know why she left me. Like, fuck.
Okay, so do you think millions of people have launched rockets to space? What's the
Who
matter?
the fuck was even talking? Like, who is? I don't even know who you're debating.
Some spastic.
Triggered Globy.
Okay, let's get back to the point. The point is, Nobody knows where those, let's call them objects, originated. Okay? Nobody knows. They could be volcanic ejecta. They could be fucking lots of things. We don't know because they've never been tracked from quote unquote outer space. And if I don't want to like believe the story of a person that has no evidence for the story, it just sounds good to them, and they just go, "Well, I think there's outer space. I saw a burning rock in the sky. You hit the ground. I can't imagine where else would it come from. So it came from outer space." If I don't go along with that, I don't have a weird belief. He has the weird belief for believing that shit. I was just saying, yeah, I mean, maybe that's true. I don't. But you keep saying flat earthers have beliefs. What belief do we have? Not believing is not a belief. But you guys try to characterize it as we have some weird narrative fucking beliefs. Dude, no, that's just rhetoric. We are empirical. What do we see? We see the sun move. What do we see? The earth looks flat. What do we see? The sky's blue. What do we see? The sun's round. What do we see? The moon's round. We don't see orbits. We don't see fucking gas hydrogen giants. We don't see 50 million fucking light years. We don't see these things. Those are constructs in our mind. If you just descriptively say, and you should know this because you brought up the should argument, okay? So these are descriptive ises, right? We're just saying what is without doing any fill in the blanks. Now, if someone wants to do the fill in the blanks, you need to say, hey, I'm filling in these blanks because of these ises, right? Rock is
Yeah.
coming from
Who's
space
trying to play some
because
poker?
radar return says rock was 1,000 miles away. At one point, we tracked it going from 1,000 miles to fucking 5 feet above the ground.
Yeah, this statement of flat earthers believing this and that, like, is just a transference and trying to pawn off your belief. You want to trade beliefs and transfer your belief to say that here's my belief because somewhere deep inside you know you only have a belief which is akin to religion, and you want us flat earthers to have beliefs too. So you try to push beliefs onto us when we are the ones that don't have a belief. The globe religion is the belief, and you clearly have that. And we want to talk about people being religious. You're the most religious person in here, and I think you know who I'm talking to.
So check this out. What was the trigger word for that other guy? How do you know that? I said, how do you know that he got triggered? This is the Glober standby. You ask them, how do you know that? That freaks them the fuck out. Like, dude was saying, hey man, they thought the Earth was a globe, and then they never knew the Earth was a globe. They just believed they knew that. They never knew it. They have no means from which to know it. Which this is the reason why I asked Colberters, hey, I try to start with this. If no one told you the Earth was a globe, would you have figured it out yourself? I've never had a person say yes. Well, one person I think said yes, but I think he was a strong one. Almost nearly everyone says no. No, I would not have figured it out. That means they've never experienced the Earth as a globe. Because if they had the experience, they already figured it out without being told.
Okay, Mighty, you've been unlocked. What proof of curvature have you got?
And before the
Yeah, if I may say something real quick before we... earlier, the guy was talking about how he would just let people just come in here and just say what they want to say. That is a tactic they use to shut the conversation down. Just filibuster. Complete inane garbage. Just over and over and over again. Since they can't get the channel shut down by hook or by crook, they'll just come in here and just wreck the space. And so by their own logic, we'll just bounce them out. They don't want this channel around. They don't want to be part of it. They hate the topic. They hate flat earthers. You just ban them, and that's gone for them. They don't have to worry about it anymore. They can go on and be bad at something else in life. So it's not silencing them. It's not taking their voice away. It's holding them to their own idea.
Stop crying like a bitch, dude.
They don't want this topic discussed.
Stop
No
crying
problem.
and coping, dude. Stop crying and coping. It's kind of embarrassing.
You're a
dude.
zero. He's just copying. So, Crit. So
Hey,
I
shut up,
completely
Indio.
agree. But another reason people. So I said in before the insult, you prove me right. You're a clown. So Crit. The other thing, the people that complain about too much moderation are really just looking for more leeway to be assholes. Why? They won't say it, right? They'll just say, "Oh man, you guys are too harsh. You silence people." What they're trying to do is be able to say whatever the fuck they want without consequence.
Yeah, they want to just ruin the space. They can't control it. They can't shut it down. So their last step is just to ruin it, make it unbearable for anybody. They're insufferable. When they're told no thank you, that's when they crack. Because they're normally used to, like, when they would cry as a baby or a kid, they would cry when their mommy told them no cookie, and they would just cry and cry and cry until they got a cookie. Here, they cry and whine, and it doesn't change anything other than they're shown the door. They're bounced out. And then they're really upset.
The same tactic of making the place just the unbearable. That was the tactic they used probably for the first 6 months where we got good moderation on 24/7. They would post scat porn. They would spit in people's DMs with autopsy photos. They would make it that just joining the server was going to be like one of the worst internet experiences of your life, just to get you to quit the Discord and not hear anything a flat earther had to say.
Yeah, that's their tactic. They're shit
It actually
scared.
worked on me, dude. It
Oh, a
worked
lot
on
of
me.
people, yeah.
When I first joined Discord, when it was the ODTV Discord, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm not hanging here. And I came back like like maybe it was 3 weeks later. But the point is that they just tried to make the experience unbearable so that no one would stay and hear flat earth brainwashing or whatever they.
Surprised they're still doing that shit. They're still doing that type of shit.
No, I mean, I just had a bot that was DMing me for like 3.5 weeks, just pornographic photos, just over and over and over again. Finally, the dude gave up, realized I didn't give a shit what he sends me.
Hey, you guys do know that Mighty's seasoned right now, right? He's waiting for an opportunity to say some inane garbage.
Yeah, and he's told no, and now he's just really upset. So then it's like, he's a tablet kid. Like, basically, he annoyed his parents so spectacularly, they gave him a tablet and said, just go annoy people online. Leave me out of it. I'm done. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't know who you are. You're not the person I raised. I wanted something better for you, and there just isn't any way to do that. So here's a tablet. Here's a social media app. Go bug other people.
You're wrong. He's got 2 tablets. He's got one for mom's house and one for dad's house. He's on the mom's house tablet when he's here because he has no discipline.
Yeah.
That's even better. Yeah.
That's even better. yeah, Indio, you're so correct.
Yeah, Marty. What proof of curvature you got?
Crit, yeah, you're so smart.
Yeah, Mighty. What's your proof of curvature before I explain?
Mighty. Shut the fuck up, you dumb Australian cunt.
See you later.
He's trying to hide his girly laugh. I know that.
Hey, Mighty, look at these kangaroos.
Let him go, let him go. This is funny.
Retarded.
I'm just dropping by. I gotta get going. I did not realize that there's fucking transformers in this Discord. There's no fucking way that there's a whole ass trans fucking channel.
Welcome to the internet.
What the fuck are you talking? Oh, you mean the people that came in? Yeah.
This fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
The globe retards that came in. Yeah, we know.
Listen, go check.
Hey man, I'm not.
People most mad at flat Earth are Transformers.
Huh?
Like
The
80%.
people most mad at flat Earth are Transformers, dude.
You know
I'm
what's
dead
even
serious.
you know what's even more crazy? They'll come in here and tell us we're bigoted against the LGBT community. You're like, really? Am I like right now? NASA is scrubbing their websites of all LGBTQ representatives. There's never been an openly
I
gay
can't give an
astronaut.
opinion on this. You know why?
There's never been an openly gay astronaut. They're all the astronaut, the whole astronaut corps is right wing Christian conservatives, but they'll ignore that. They'll ignore all that. Come in here with flat earthers who are LGBTQ members and tell us we're actually the bigoted people. You're like, wow. Like how? Like what is the process that they went through where they suddenly decided it wasn't the government that was bigoted and doing bigoted things. It's these other people who are questioning the bigotry of government.
Well, Crit, like, I mean, if you don't mind me adding something on, I think it's just because you're a racist bigot. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
he was being a.
That's
That's
where the rubber meets. Here's where the rubber meets. Here's where the rubber meets the road.
Get it on topic. Get it on
It's a
topic,
joke.
please, everybody.
Yeah, they actually have a voice in here
You're supposed to
that just
laugh.
not about that. Just not about that topic, so they can come in here and freely discuss the nature of the Earth, all they like, and undiscriminated.
So see how the Glober had to like spiral to that and then dip, just like they all do. So all those retards that were in here are on your side, buddy. If you're listening on YouTube, that's your side that behaves that way, and you fit right in the subset.
I could be wrong. I thought he was joking around with Crit. I could be wrong.
No, I think he's serious. Like he has a dichotomy within himself. I mean,
No, he was joking. That guy at the end there, the military guy, said he was joking.
He might have been joking. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was being. I've talked to him a few times. Like he was being sarcastic. Like what he was doing was kind of mocking these sort of like crazy social justice warriors who they only punch down. They see people on another minority group, flat earthers, and they punch down because they're shit scared to call out what the government is doing.
Yeah, but maybe that guy doesn't understand that he's still on the same side as those radicals. He doesn't want to consider himself because of where he is, his position in life, or whatever the military or whatever his political stance is. He doesn't want to believe that he's in that same subgroup of people that are the retarded, the zealotrous liberal globers, basically. He doesn't want to admit, but he's in the same side.
Yeah, but he has classified information. He's privy to classified information, which he knows lets him know that the Earth is a ball, right?
Yeah. So that's supposed to make him any different when he's a religious person, just like the rest of them. They can't stand their religion being having the light shined on them.
And he's okay to talk to, but he's got this tactic, like he's look. With all due respect, I know you're wrong. I can't share that information.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're wrong about the Earth, right? And I'm not here to debate about it.
Exactly. So he's got like a little escape pod.
Yeah.
So
T-Dub, you heard what he said. He said that if he found out the Earth was flat, he would lose his mind. He wouldn't be. He said he wouldn't be able to handle it if that was the case.
He wouldn't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what to do. That's the point I was trying to bring up. He wouldn't know what to do because he's already using Earth as flat stationary. He's
essentially saying, right? If I don't have an explanation for asteroids, my life is over.
Exactly. And I think Indio brought up a really good point. You don't know where those things came from. And then when the point was brought up to him, what does that have to do with the surface condition? He's like, I didn't say it had anything to do with the surface condition, but these crazy beliefs that flat earthers have are the reason I can't go with it. Like, he doesn't, like he has a straw man idea still. I guarantee you, he doesn't even know what our argument is.
No, and Indio pointed it out to him.
He also revealed that he's a triggered atheist. I don't know if you guys heard him mention like religion a few times.
But Indio pointed out to him, right? It's really that he's not saying flat Earth beliefs. He's saying flat Earth disbeliefs. He doesn't realize he's saying that, but he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been upset about being an atheist because he came in here too, like talking about firmament. I'm like, that's Copernicus. That's von Braun. That's Bill Nelson. You know, like that. He didn't believe me. He had to look up von Braun's tombstone where it just references the firmament. So I said, are you trying to tell me that von Braun, the director of NASA, was a secret flat earther talking about the firmament?
Exactly.
Because if you say anyone who mentions a firmament is a flat earther, SpaghettiOs. Because you've got Copernicus, you've got Bill Nelson, the current director of NASA, the outgoing one, the first director of NASA, von Braun. I showed him a C-SPAN where he opened up his speech about NASA talking about Psalm 19. That the firmament gives glory to the handiwork of God. I go, is he a secret flat earther?
And who are all those evolutionists and young Earth creationists like that? Ken Hovind or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, William Duffy.
All them guys.
You got William Duffy, huge anti-flat earther, young Earth creationist. Ken Hovind,
and
it's flat Earth.
Well, they claim that there was a firmament, right? There isn't anymore, right?
Oh, I'm not even sure. It's like those guys are just insufferable. It's like they're the same one with Darth Dawkins. I mean, like basically says flat earthers are they're demon possessed.
Yep. And go into the religious beliefs of all their founding fathers. Like, for instance, Copernicus, besides being a prominent scientist, held distinct but devout religious beliefs within the context of their time. Newton was a devout Christian. Copernicus was a Catholic.
Yeah.
And
how's their demons?
Go ahead.
No, I want to ask you, how are there demons on a globe? I don't get it. Can demons build rocket ships and go to other planets? Yeah, he said demons. Like he said, Darth Dawkins thinks White Earth is a demon possessed. So how are there demons on a globe? I don't get it.
Exactly. That sounds like a religious belief.
Can demons build rocket ships? Can demons go into orbit? Can demons fly to the moon? Can demons go to Mars?
Yeah, it's hilarious. There's all those people.
I played Doom, so yes, they can go to Mars.
That's a great question. Do demons have spaceships?
Exactly. Or do they just fly through the vacuum of infinite space, like fly through it? Like